if she doesn't do her hair, would that give her a child faster? If she doesn't apply makeup, if she doesn't look good, if she doesn't pamper herself, if she doesn't take care of herself, will that give her a child faster? Like, can someone help me make it make sense? Like, you guys, I didn't know this video is going to be so difficult for me to do. I just wanted to just talk. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hey babes, how are you doing today? You're highly welcome to my little corner here on the internet, you guys. So please excuse the way your sis is looking. Sis is going through it. I'm literally going through it right now. Like, I don't know, do you guys ever go through that phase where you just have a lot of things bottled up inside and all you need to do is just talk, you know, just pour everything out so that you can just, you know, be yourself once again? Whew, that's what I'm literally going through right now. So from the topic of this video, you know what we are going to be talking about today. We're going to be talking about something that is very personal to me, and I guess a lot of, you know, other women out there. I will be talking about how I truly feel about being over 30, married for 7 years and still childless. So basically the pressures of being childless, especially as an African woman or as a Nigerian wife, because I feel like there's a lot of pressure, or the average African woman or the average Nigerian girl goes through a lot of pressure. So it starts from, when are you getting married? Like, once you hit that age of 24, 25, 26, the pressure starts coming in left, right and center, you know, like from when are you getting married, to you finally getting married, to when are you gonna have kids, to you finally having kids, to, you know, you don't have a male child yet, when are you going to give us a son? Or even to the extent of, oh, you have only boys, why don't you try having a girl? Like, woo! It's a lot, you guys. One of the most difficult things any couple can ever go through is battling infertility. It's very difficult when everyone around you is just having children. Like, even people that you got married way before, you know, finally getting married and just popping out kids, 1, 2, 3, 4. It is very, very difficult. Like, imagine this scenario where, you know, you are working for this company and there is this particular position you've been applying for every year, like year in, year out. You're applying for this position and it's not forthcoming, but rather the employee who just came in last month or last week or 2 months ago has literally gotten that same position that you, who have been in that company for like the past 5, 6, 7 years, have been trying to get, but you're not getting it. Imagine, if you can imagine how painful that is. Now multiply that pain by like 1,000, 1 million. That is exactly how painful. I don't know, I'm just talking about myself. That is exactly how painful, you know, it can be sometimes. And I won't even lie to you, there are days where, you know, I don't just get up from the bed. I feel like lying down all day. I feel like just, you know, lying down, crying and just tearing my eyes out. It is difficult enough that, you know, the couples are trying their best, or, you know, they're just trying hard, you know, for God to bless them with, you know, the fruit of the womb. But then there is, you know, this added pressure from the side of family, from the side of friends, and funny enough, sometimes even strangers, because on so many occasions I've met people, like, while or during the course of our discussion, they get to find out that I'm married, and the next thing you hear is, oh, for how many years have you been married, or how long have you been married for? And I, you know, tell them, oh, I've been married for like 6 years, I've been married for 7 years. And of course the next thing that goes with that question is, oh, how many kids do you have? And then I'm there like, for now, none. And the next thing they ask you is, why? Like, why are you married for that long and you don't have kids? And most of the times I don't know what to say. It's like, okay, so what do you want to do with that information? If I tell you why I don't have kids yet, what will you do with that? So take for example, if I tell you that, okay, I'm having issues, what will you do with that information? Or if I tell you that I don't want kids, what will you do with that information? I've literally been at a party. It was a kids party, and parents were there with their children, and my husband and I were invited for the party. And there was this lady who was sharing gifts, like party packs to the kids. And then she looked at me and was like, oh, why didn't you come with your kids? And bear in mind, I have never seen this woman before. I don't know her, she doesn't know me, and you know, she just, that question kind of threw me off balance, kind of threw me off, because like, you don't know this person, you haven't met her before, you haven't even heard of her before, you just met her at a kids party and she was there with the husband, and you know, all you could ask, of course she didn't ask that question to spite me, or maybe she didn't think about it, maybe the question just came out like that, but I actually found it was quite offensive. Like, someone you don't know, all you could ask the person was, oh, why didn't you come with your kids? And I was there like, because I don't have kids yet. Like, the pressure is a lot. Like, being a Nigerian woman, so long as you want to get married and you don't have kids, you're not a woman yet. In fact, you'd rather be unmarried than be married without kids. Like, it's that painful. From that minute you just say, oh, kiss the bride, your family, your friends have already started taking the clock for you. 9 months later, you begin to get questions like, how far now? What's going on? Your parents begin to ask you, when am I coming for Mugwo? Your mother-in-law begins to ask, when am I coming to carry my grandchild? And all that. Once it gets to a year, 2 years, 3 years, you know, speculations, you know, begin to, you know, come in. Like, people begin to suspect that, oh, maybe the woman has an issue. And again, it's always the woman, because again, being African, in the average Nigerian, you know, household, it's always the woman who has the issue. Like, our son is okay, our son can never have any problem, it is always the woman. And then you begin to, you know, hear rumors, or people say things like, oh, maybe she must have lived a wayward life when she was young, or she must have done way too many abortions, that is why she cannot have kids. Like, people don't even understand that there could be other reasons. There is unexplained infertility, there is medically induced infertility, there could be, like, there are many other reasons why, you know, a woman could be having difficulties. It's not necessarily that she lived a wayward life. I've seen people who married as virgins but have issues giving birth. So how do you explain that? Like, she literally married as a virgin, but it took her years to conceive. I've even seen some that did not conceive at all. Like, the pressure is a lot. Sometimes I even pressurize myself. There are days where I don't want to, you know, hang out with people who have children, not because I'm jealous that they have children, but because of the fact that time and time again people make sentences. Again, I don't know if they do this intentionally, but people make sentences that, or let me say, they use every little opportunity to remind you of the fact that you don't have kids, or they use every opportunity to remind you of the fact that your school of thought or your life's decision is because you don't have kids. Again, I don't know if they do this intentionally. Okay, let me give you an example. Maybe you guys will understand what I'm talking about. And if you're someone who does this knowingly or unknowingly, please just stop. Like, literally just stop. Okay, so I'll give you an example. So say you come to my house now and, you know, you see that I have a white rug. There are people who will just say, oh, you have a white rug in your house, wait until you start having kids. A white rug is because you don't have kids, that's why you have a white rug. And I'm like, what does my not having kids yet have to do with my choice of decoration? Like, they just make statements. Like, just say, oh, don't you think that this rug will get dirty easily? Why would you say it's because I don't have kids, that is why I decided to buy a white rug? Or you come in and you say that, okay, I have a lot of glass decor, and then the next thing they will say is, all this glass table, glass dining. Don't worry, it's because you don't have kids, that is why you have a glass dining table, that is why you have a glass center table. Like, just don't attach, my life decision, don't attach your school of thought to my not having kids. Whew. You really don't have to, remind people that they are doing something or they are not doing something because they don't have kids. Just stop saying that. And in as much as, like I said before, he or she or the person saying that may not necessarily be saying that to spite you, but I mean, you don't have to remind them that they don't have kids. They already know that they don't have kids. I've heard things like, not me, not at me, but I've just heard people say these things, especially before I got married, when I was still way younger. I used to hear people say things like, oh, she no go born, like you won't do and go and have a child, you're there focusing on your beauty, you're there focusing on hair, nails, makeup and all that, instead of you to go and look for how to give your husband a child. And sometimes I wonder, like, so because a woman is childless, or because she doesn't have a child yet, she should always look scruffy? Like, you want to see her looking raggedy, looking scruffy, looking scraggy, all because she doesn't have a child yet? Like, can someone help me make it make sense? Like, if she doesn't do her hair, would that give her a child faster? If she doesn't apply makeup, if she doesn't look good, if she doesn't pamper herself, if she doesn't take care of herself, will that give her a child faster? Like, people just say things that make no sense at all, that are literally so dumb, and you begin to wonder, like, where did this school of thought come in? I thank God for the kind of man I have been blessed with. I also thank God for the kind of family I'm married into, just because I don't have that kind of pressure coming from them. But I feel like it boils down to my husband. I feel like my husband has done a fantastic job, trying to protect my space, trying to protect, just protecting me as a whole, so that I don't go through that added pain from family members. But in general, I just thank God for the kind of family that I'm married into, because there are days where my husband sees me down, I'm down, like I'm unhappy, I'm crying, and one thing he always reminds me is, do you remember the days where all you were begging God for was life? Do you remember the days where all you were telling God is, I don't want to die, just give me another shot at this thing called life? And here you are alive, and now you're complaining about you not being able to have a child. And then when I think of those days, it registers in my mind that, oh my God, I would have been 6 feet down the grave and I won't even be thinking of a child, because it is someone who is alive that will think of a child. If you're a woman going through this, I just want to tell you that you're not alone. We are in this together. We shall all testify, we shall all have our testimony, we shall all carry our bundles of joy, so long as you will still believe it. Because I know that there are women who have accepted their fate like that. There are women who have believed the doctor's report. But whose report will you believe? Will you believe the doctor's report, or will you believe God's report? If God has said that none shall be barren, then you need to hold on to those words firmly. But if at the end of the day, even after holding on to those words, it doesn't still come, like the child or the children don't come, then let God just have the final say. My voice may sound very teary, but don't let whatever thing you're going through weigh you down. Don't look like your problems. The world wants to see you looking down. They want to see you being all sad, being all moody, being full of grief. don't look like your problems. Just know that it's all in the hands of God. If it is up to me to have kids, by now I have like 4 kids. If it's up to me to give any woman a child, I will give every woman who is looking for the fruit of the womb a child. I also want to say, don't compare yourself to anyone. Like, we are all walking different paths in this life. Like, I have friends who are single, and you know, I hear them say things like, oh my god, I am over 30, I am not married, and I'm there like, okay girl, I'm married but I don't have kids. I have friends who are single mothers and they're like, oh, why did God give them a child? They don't even have a husband. And I'm like, okay, I have a husband but I don't have a child. Like, at the end of the day, Nigerians will say this life no balance. So there is the girl out there single, you know, praying and crying to God for a husband. There is the other girl out there who is married and praying to God, asking God for a child. There is the one out there who has a child but no husband and is asking God, why am I a single mom? Like, I need a husband. Like, this life no balance. At the end of the day, let's just let God be. And you know, the most important thing is that we fulfill our destiny, we fulfill that which God has called us on earth to do. Yeah, I feel like I should round up this video here. There are other things I wanted to say, but you guys, if I keep talking now, I'm literally going to, you know, tear up. With that said, remember that what God cannot do does not exist. And while He is here to open this gate, I don't know what your own gate is. It could be gate of financial prosperity, it could be gate of fertility, it could be gate of healing, it could be gate of anything. While He is here to open the gate for you and I, we are going to be praising Him in the hallway and living our best life, because we are not going to look like our problems. The world wants to see us looking like our problems. They want to see us look like our pain, our frustration, our grievances. We're not going to give them that entertainment, okay? So with that said, that will be it for me on this video. Do well to stay safe, and God bless you all.